Let's start with the engine of the offense, Christian McCaffrey. More than or less than 67.5 rushing yards. Just before we start, Jesse beat me last week. He got one more right than me. So Jesse's winning. Jesse,
I also want to say
than.
These guys were so accurate. Last week, they had Brock Purdy at 219.5 passing yards. He had 220. Then they had the more than less than at 28 and a half attempts. He had 29. Wow. I mean, how much more accurate could you be?
It's crazy. Before the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Okay.
But luckily, I knew the script also, and that's why I won. Okay.
That's
more
unfair.
Than or less than 67.5 rushing yards. God, that it almost seems like such a low number that you're like, yeah, no brainer. And then you lose because you thought that it was a no brainer and they knew more than you. But I have to go more than 67.5 is so disrespectful. And you know he's going to get 25 carries because it's Kyle Shanahan, regardless of the score.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like 67.5 either assumes that he's going to have a bad game or that Kyle Shanahan is going to like load manage him, which I'd be all for, but that's not going to happen. He's going to ride this. Like if you think Kyle Shanahan's going to go easy on Christian McCaffrey, go back and look at Terrell Davis's box score. It's not going to happen. They are going to give this guy all he can take. And if it's true that Christian McCaffrey wants it and won't go off the field, then forget about it. I'm going more than here.
Yeah, I gotta go
more. Okay, let's go. Brock Purdy. Last week it was 219.5 pass yards. This week is 218.5 pass yards. More than or less than?
Last week I went less than and was wrong. So just based off of that, I'm going to go more than. He'll get more than 218.5. And I also do not look at really anything in that secondary with the Rams and say, oh, you know what? They can really cover Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Aiyuk, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Juszczyk if he ever runs a route. There's just nothing there. I'm not impressed at all with that secondary. So I'm going to say more than.
I'm going to say more than as well. I think it's going to be another game where they try to get the ball, a game where they try to get the ball to Brock Purdy's hands quickly. I don't think they're going to want him to be holding it long because of Aaron Donald. And so that means for him to get above 218.5, he's going to need a lot of yards after the catch, but the Niners always get a lot of yards after the catch with against the Rams. So again, I'm with you, Brock Purdy, more than 218.5. I think it's a good bet. How about Brandon Aiyuk, the offensive player of the week, more than or less than 59.5 receiving yards?
I mean, this seems like a no-brainer more than, but isn't this the type of thing that you could see Kyle just icing him out of a game plan the week after he was offensive player of the week for whatever reason, and tailor his game plan towards a George Kittle who was unable to get involved last week or a Deebo Samuel? I'm going to say less than and hope that he absolutely kills it again because he's on my fantasy team. So.
Last time he faced the Rams, week 8 last season with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, 6 targets, 6 catches, 81 yards, 31 points. That's the thing about Aiyuk. Like they could throttle him back this week and say, you 8 targets last week. We kind of want to feature Deebo this week. You're only going to get 5 or 6 targets. He could catch all of them and still go for 70 yards. So I'm going to go more for Brandon Aiyuk. I just feel like he
is unguardable.
Right now. I think he's kind of unguardable right now. He could do that on 5 targets. So I'm going to go more. How about Deebo Samuel? 50.5 receiving yards. It's interesting how the perception has changed, right? It seems like Prize Picks expects Aiyuk to be the number 1 option in this offense. Yeah. Deebo at 50.5 receiving yards, more than or less than?
More than. I mean, it seems like against the Rams, every single time he's got an axe to grind. Aaron Donald opened his mouth, and ever since then, Deebo will always play well against the Rams. It is like death, taxes, Deebo kills the Rams, screen pass, 80 yards, something like that. It won't take much. Deebo will ball out this week, I believe. And like I said, you catch a slant, catch a screen pass, he's breaking one. I'll say Deebo over.
Yeah, last time Deebo played the Rams was week 4 last year. He got 7 targets, 6 catches, 115 yards, and a touchdown. through the air. Didn't play in the second game. I forgot that was the game that they didn't have him. He got hurt. He missed a few games down the stretch, but he's healthy now. I feel like he's probably going to get featured this game. Like as you said, he always does well against the Rams. I'm going more than. We've done all more than so far. I guess we think the Niners might win this game. George Kittle, more than or less than 40.5 receiving yards. I think last week he had 11.
13, I think. 3 catches for 13.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right.
And interestingly enough, the reason I picked less than with him last week was I figured he'd stay in and block a lot. That was actually not the case. They kind of left McKivitz out there on an island quite a bit, and he still was unable to get those catches. But I did pick more than 218.5 yards for Purdy. If I'm going under on Aiyuk, then I have to go over on both Deebo and Kittle. So I'm going to say over on Kittle.
Over
more
on
than,
Kittle, man.
More than.
I'm going to finally disagree with you. I'm going to go less than. It's because he's coming off a groin injury. And last year against the Rams, he got in the first game 4 targets, 2 catches, 24 yards. In the second game, he got 5 targets, 3 catches, 39 yards, 1 touchdown. If there's one player on the Niners that Kyle Shanahan will pace and try to keep fresh, I think it's Kittle. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he's going to start slow this season and pick up the pace when they need him, maybe when other players get injured. But I'm used to losing to you in this game, so we'll have to see.
What's that? Well, hold on. Let me see the one below just to see what the Jawan Jennings is. I want to see.
Jawan Jennings, 13.5 receiving yards, more than or less.
That one's an interesting one. Let's stay away from that one. But I know we have to pick one from another team, so we might as well go check that out. Otherwise, we can't place our.
Hold on, let me start a poll real quick. More than or less than 218.5 passing yards for Brock Purdy. I want to get the chat involved. More than.
What did you say on that one? Did you say more than?
I said more than. We went more than for all of them except for You've been
I said less than on Aiyuk. I did say less than on Aiyuk.
Yeah, you said less than on Aiyuk, and I said less than on Kittle. So that's our big difference. Now let's go to the Rams. So you got to get one from a different team.
For sure.
That's how it works. Matthew Stafford, 228.5 passing yards for Matthew Stafford. What do you think?
More than. It's going to have to be more than. First of all, they're going to be playing from behind. Second of all, they can't run the ball. Last week, they actually did try to establish the run, but I don't think it looked very impressive. So I'm sure they're going to try to establish the run. Probably not going to work. I do expect them to play from behind. And Matthew Stafford, I mean, he can sling it. I will say more than. I feel comfortable with that.
Ooh. Last time he faced the Niners, Cooper Kupp out there, he went 22 of 33 for 187 yards. I don't know, man. I think he's going to be better. And that was without Javon Hargrave out there. I just don't think the Rams are that
score
good.
Of that game?
31-14. I could see that again. I could see that happening again. I'm going less than with Matthew Stafford. I mean, no Cooper Kupp. I don't know. I think he's going to get sacked a lot. So I'm putting $50 down, and if I get all 6 of them right, I win $1,200.
Damn.
So everyone hope that I get these right and that Jesse doesn't. I'm placing my entry right there. Boom. If you are into daily fantasy, you want to make entries, go to Prize Picks, use the link in the description, and use my promo code. They will match your entry 100%. First one up to $100.